Welcome back to the Best Writing on Mathematics channel. In this video, I will give an overview of the print edition of the series Best Writing on Mathematics, the 2014 edition. In the opening piece of the selection, Stephen Pollard reviews John Dewey's conception of human experience and notes that in the philosopher's views, mathematics and its practice offer an integrative function that transcends the utilitarian goals commonly bestowed on mathematics by enhancing the minds and the lives of the people who study it. Kenneth Cookier and Victor Meyer-Schonberger discuss some of the consequences of the recent explosion in digital information, pointing out the qualitative shift it brings to data use and analysis, and concluding that these trends are radically changing our lives, work, and thinking about the world. Tanya Kovanova poses and solves an ingenious puzzle invented decades ago by John Conway. Then in the next piece, John Conway himself observes that some true arithmetical statements are not provable and gives unsophisticated examples that support his assertion. Brian Hayes traces the history of space-filling curves and offers surprising applications of the counterintuitive process that leads to their construction. Lav Varshny and John Sun observe that non-linear logarithmic scaling is natural to our perception, but distorted into linear scaling by institutionalized education, and contend that by reducing estimative errors, perceiving logarithmically confers evolutionary advantages. Keith Devlin formulates negative and positive criteria for evaluating the instructive or non-instructive qualities of games that purport to help children learn mathematics, and concludes that most games currently available do not deliver on the educational side. Bachman Kalantari and Bruce Torrens describe certain features of the graph of a polynomial with a complex variable. Then they use this intuitive geometrical guidance to draw the main lines in the chain of arguments that prove that any polynomial can be factored into a number of linear factors equal to its degree. Nicole Lazar reviews the virtues and the pitfalls of using statistical methods to analyze and to create art. Carlos Equin catalogs varieties of geometrical shapes similar to a Klein bottle, a geometrical surface with a single face, and briefly indicates the mathematical elements that can help classify them rigorously. Also starting with a Klein bottle surface, Sara Marie Belcastro tackles issues related to the knitting of mathematical objects and illustrates her comments with photographs of needlework. Marshall Gordon details the activities he developed for teaching 11th graders the engineering applications of the mathematical study of quadratic quantities, and relates the response these activities elicited from the students, stressing that his multiple-centered instruction reaches all students according to their level of interest. Penelope Dunham brings food into the classroom not only to facilitate the intuitive understanding of the mathematical concepts encountered in a variety of undergraduate courses she devised, but also to stimulate and to reward the students. Dove and Rina Zaskis find that the wonder part of mathematics resides in doing mathematics more than in contemplating mathematical results, and present examples that link the nature of wonder in mathematics to encountering surprise, counterintuition, and the unexpected. Francis Su's blog entry, based on a talk he gave as an awardee, is an impassioned plea for renouncing the infatuation with achievement and performance in education and focusing instead on the irreducible humanity that often goes missing in the interaction between teacher and student. Yuri Leron and Orit Zaslavsky reflect on the strengths, limitations, and educational value of generic proofs, that is, mathematical proofs based on an example that serves as a springboard for the main ideas supporting the generalization to all cases represented by that example. John Conway again and Joseph Shipman distinguish among different proofs of the same mathematical result based on proof's dominant features, and exemplify what they call proof space by comparing 6 ways of proving that the square root of the number 2 is not a proportion of integers. Michael Barany shows that peculiar conservative inclinations led Augustin-Louis Cauchy to fuse algebraic and geometric thinking, thus inadvertently igniting the theoretical impulse that led to the rigor of modern mathematics. Lawrence Brenton tells the long story of the speculation concerning the shape of the universe and how its main avatars relate to geometric ideas, old and new. Mark Braverman explains the structural incompatibility between real numbers, which we represent intuitively as a continuous line, and the discrete nature of calculation achievable by mechanical computations. Then he examines the implications for the study of dynamical systems. Adilson Motter and David Campbell start off by describing the deterministic mindset characteristic of the exact sciences until about the middle of the 20th century, and continue by tracing the inroads made over the past half-century by the new chaos paradigm and its role in dynamical systems theory. Roberto Behar, Pere Grima, and Lluís Marco-Almagro list and comment briefly on analogies they find useful for teaching statistics to students who take an introductory course. David Gale and Lloyd Shapley's article is the only one in the volume that was first published long ago, although attention to it rekindled recently. Gale and Shapley found a well-determined and optimal solution to the problem of assigning people to institutions under conditions of uncertainty. Finally, in this volume, Jordan Ellenberg reports on an important theoretical breakthrough Yitang Zhang's proof of the bounded gaps conjecture, and muses on the consequences it might have for the theory of numbers and for our knowledge of randomness. Besides these texts, as usual, I included in the Best Writing on Mathematics 2014 edition a long list of other notable texts published in the previous calendar year, that is 2013. Thank you for listening and watching our video on this channel.